Hey, 8th grade. So today we're going to continue talking about space, but today we're going to focus on the moon and what effect does the moon's position in space have on its appearance to us on Earth. So let's start with just talking about the moon in general. The moon doesn't shine its own light. Instead, it reflects light from the sun. And the different shapes of the moon you see from Earth are what we call phases of the moon. And these are caused by the motion of the moon revolving around the Earth. So you have the sun reflecting light in, and whatever shines off of or is able to hit the moon then reflects, and that is the light that we see on Earth. The moon rotates once on its axis in the same time that it takes to revolve once around the Earth. So a day for the moon is the same as 1 month for Earth. For this reason, the same side of the moon always faces Earth. So the same side of the moon will always be facing Earth because the time it takes to rotate is the time it takes to revolve, which is each 1 month. Half of the moon is almost always in sunlight, and since the moon orbits the Earth, you see the moon from different angles. And the phase of the moon you see depends on how much of the sunlit side of the moon actually faces the Earth. And it takes about 29.5 days for the full cycle of the phases, or about 1 month. So the two of the main phases that we think about when we think about the phases of the moon are the new moon, which is when the side of the moon facing the Earth is not lit, and the full moon, which is when the side of the moon that's facing the Earth is fully lit. So if we look at what these look like, we have sunlight coming in, and it's reflecting off the moon. So from this angle, when that moon is in between the sun and the Earth, we end up having a new moon because the lit side of the moon is facing away from the Earth. And then as you continue to revolve around the Earth, you'll have the waxing crescent, which means it's going to be getting bigger, waxing bigger. So as it's waxing, you have a crescent and then a first quarter, the waxing gibbous, which is a little more than half of the moon. And then you have the full moon, which is when the entire side that's lit up is facing the Earth. Then you have the waning gibbous. The waning is getting smaller. The third quarter, which is another half moon, but the other side of it from the first quarter. And then the waning crescent, still getting smaller, going on to the new moon. All of this has to do with the angle at which you see the moon and the sunlight coming in. So once again, just another depiction. We have the sun over here, new moon, because of the lit side being facing away from the Earth, to the waxing crescent, where you only see a small portion. First quarter, the waxing gibbous, the full moon, the waning gibbous, the last quarter, and the waning crescent. And these are all as seen from Earth. Go ahead and move on to your other work for today in your packet.